They say betrayal comes with a knife in the back, but for Martin Daly, it came with a kiss on the cheek and a suitcase in the lobby of a retirement home. He watched the red glow of taillights vanish into the October dusk, his wife's car shrinking into the distance like the last illusion of love he'd ever believed in. 55 years old, 32 years of marriage, and now dumped like outdated furniture. What he didn't know, as he stood on that polished marble floor with clenched fists and boiling silence, was that this wasn't just abandonment. It was the opening move in a quiet war, and Martin wasn't going to lose. Martin Daly stood frozen on the glossy floor of Sunset Gardens, watching his wife's taillights vanish into the evening fog. In that moment, it hit him not just the cold abandonment, but the brutal clarity. She dumped him, just like that. 32 years of marriage, gone, thrown away like yesterday's junk. "Mr. Daly, your suite is ready," the cheerful clerk said, holding the clipboard like it mattered. Martin didn't even blink. "There's been a mistake." "Oh, your wife explained. Trial stay, adjustment phase. She can rot. Call me a cab." That night, in a sterile room that smelled like bleach and boiled vegetables, Martin stared at the ceiling. No tears, no yelling, just stillness. A silence so thick it choked. For 12 a.m., he got dressed, walked out the back exit, and vanished into the fog. The cab ride cost $63. "You good, man?" the driver asked, peering into the mirror. "You look like someone just shot your soul." Martin said nothing. He was already unraveling the puzzle in his head. Leslie's nervous laughter, Jason avoiding eye contact, and the way everyone pretended this trial stay wasn't a life sentence. But when he got home, the house he built, nail by nail, wire by wire, his key wouldn't turn. Front door, nothing. Back door, jammed. He called Leslie, straight to voicemail. Tried Jason, same. Then came the real punch. He opened his laptop at a cheap motel and logged into the joint account. $47. For $7. Their savings gone. His pension emptied. The house mysteriously transferred to something called Daly Family Trust, and according to a real estate listing, his home was already under contract. Photos of rooms he built with love now scrubbed, staged, and stripped of everything personal. His life sold off like a clearance sale. The realtor, a sleazy nobody named Ray Sutter. Martin didn't know him yet. He kept digging. Ray's Facebook showed him celebrating new beginnings with Leslie 3 months ago. The family trust was just a disguise. Leslie had cleaned him out, moved on, and left him to rot in a retirement facility. But Martin Daly wasn't finished. He'd been betrayed before. Years ago, he lost Rachel, the only woman who ever loved him without agenda. A freak accident at her job crushed her and their unborn son. Martin sued the company, fought for justice, won the case, but lost the light in his life. Then came Catherine, beautiful, confident, charming, to perfect. He ignored the signs, unfamiliar, clothes in the closet, cars parked out back when he was away, a nervous laugh when he asked questions. One day, he came home early, no warning, no calls. Through the kitchen window, he saw her on the counter with his friend Harry. Laughter, skin, betrayal. That night, Martin didn't rage. He didn't scream. He planned. He called Tommy Chen, an off-the-books tech guy who dabbled in data, recovery, and digital ghosts. "Someone wiped my life clean," Martin said, sliding a flash drive across the table. "I want it all back." Tommy worked around the clock, pulled deleted emails, photos, messages, what he found. 5 months of secret meetings, mocking conversations, plans to make Martin look paranoid and unstable. Tell him it's a work thing. Again, he's too stupid to notice. Martin read every word, printed it, backed it up, cataloged everything. But he didn't go to court. He went deeper. He remembered Harry's stimulant habit: casual, quiet, but real. Martin bought a stash, big enough to raise eyebrows. He waited until Harry came over drunk one night, then planted it in Harry's car, at his closet, along with a few of his own items, things he would later report stolen. 2 weeks later, Martin staged a break-in at his house, shattered a window, tossed drawers, filed a police report, installed security cameras, not to feel safe, but to watch. Then came the final move. He offered Catherine a spa retreat, 5-star, full week. "Why?" she asked, thrilled. "You deserve it," he said, kissing her forehead. While she was soaking in mud baths, Martin made a call. "Yeah, hi, I live near Maple Avenue. There's a guy's silver car, shady stuff in the alley, might be dealing, curly hair. Plate number is that night when Harry pulled into Martin's driveway. Expecting Catherine, he got the cops instead. They searched the car, found the drugs, the stolen items. Harry screamed, "This is a setup. I'm being framed." But Martin, he was already back at the motel, watching the chaos unfold on local news, calm, cold, free. They rested Harry's arms behind his back, slammed him face first onto the patrol car. He let out a guttural sound, breath wheezing. "I swear to you," he choked out, "I never touched that watch. The initials, they're my buddies. Save it." The cop snapped, "You'll have your chance in court." From across the street, Martin stood still, watching the sirens fade. No pity. Just silence. One rat caved. One more, too. Corner. Catherine came home early. Someone must have tipped her off. But the house? Empty. Silent. Every room stripped down to drywall and dust. No furniture. No clothes. No trace of shared life. Her trembling hands flew to her phone. Aaron, pick up, blocked. She called his mother. Got silence plus a sealed envelope. Inside, the receipts. Photos. Video. Stills. Time logs. Harry, slipping in and out of the house, her lies cataloged and time-stamped. Catherine unraveled, screamed, sobbed. Disappeared. Word on the street. She's pouring drinks at a dive bar. The town's over. Her name, Mud. Her old life, gone. Martin, he listened to her voicemails in his new place like a man watching rain on a windshield. Apologies, rage, pleading. Nothing pierced the ice, but the next storm came from inside. Leslie, his wife. While Martin was burning down Catherine's empire, Leslie was draining his accounts and transferring their home into a forged trust, with help from her business partner Ray and their golden child Jason. But this time, Martin wasn't grieving. He was watching. At 2:13 a.m., staring at documents in a cheap motel room. It hit him like a switchblade click, not heartbreak. Strategy. He called an old contact. "Tommy, need you again? Man, what is it this time? Another laptop fried?" "No, this time it's war, digital and personal." By Friday, every fake transfer was documented. Every forged signature traced. Ray's past violations stacked like drywood. Martin lit the match. Leslie's work emails pulled. Jason's fake financial aid trail exposed. 3 anonymous calls. 3 separate agencies. 3 fuses lit. The collapse was rapid. Leslie's voice cracked over the phone. "Martin, the house deal's unraveling. Legal's involved. What's going on?" He smiled. "Why don't you ask Ray? He's the expert, right?" Jason stormed into Martin's motel room. "Dad, they're digging into our finances. They're threatening to yank my scholarship." Martin stayed seated, calm. "You mean the one based on fake asset reports?" Jason looked lost. "Mom said you were slipping, that you'd agreed to the care home." Martin's voice dropped like steel. "No, what I agreed to was trust. You all broke that." By week's end, Ray's license suspended. Leslie, jobless, Jason, facing expulsion. Martin watched it all unfold on the local news. Ray being led out in cuffs. Leslie called, hysterical. "They're saying I might be charged." "Martin, please." "No." "But I'm your wife," he answered coldly. "You're a liar who forged my name. Titles mean nothing." Final act: Tuesday. Martin pulled into his old driveway. There she was, Leslie, arms full of boxes. Move out. She spotted him, froze, panic, guilt, hope, fear, all flared and died in her eyes. He didn't speak, didn't yell, just walked past her, into his house like he never left. She tried to erase him. He erased her first. Martin Daly barely looked up when she barged in. "Martin, thank God. We need to talk." "Then talk," he said, flat, clocks ticking. Leslie approached like he was a landmine. "The attorneys found a loophole. We can reverse everything, put the house, accounts, everything back. But we need your signature." He raised an eyebrow, and in return, you dropped the charges. No courtroom, no headlines, just silence. Martin stared past her, watching Jason load furniture into a moving van. "Where are you running to?" "Ray found a place in Florida. New. Start for all of us." She smiled thinly. "You'll get your life back, just like it was." He nodded slowly. Almost. She asked. Martin reached into his pocket and tapped a button on his phone. Her voice spilled out, laughing with Ray, mocking his trust, bragging about ditching him in a nursing home. Her face crumpled. You were spying? No, he said coolly. I was studying. Then he stepped aside. You've got 1 hour. Leave the key on the counter. You can't. I'm still your wife. Not for long. He handed her an envelope. Divorce is filed, and your lawyer will soon receive a detailed breakdown of every crime you helped commit. Her voice cracked. You heartless bastard. I built this home too. You built nothing but lies. He said, now go live in them. Jason froze. Dad, this is insane. We're family. Martin's voice stayed calm. Family doesn't dump you in a care facility and steal your name. He stepped back inside. You made your bed. Sleep in it. 1 hour later, the truck rolled away. Martin stood on the porch, coffee in hand. The silence was glorious. He called his technician. Tommy, come get the surveillance stuff. The job's done. 8 months passed. Ray pled guilty. 2 years behind bars. Leslie got 18 months for fraud served 10. Jason, expel. Scholarship gone. Martin testified without emotion, just precision. When a defense lawyer asked how he discovered the forgery, Martin said, same way I trace a faulty wire. You follow the charge. Find the fire. Then cut the current before the whole system burns. The house was his again. Room stripped clean of Leslie's presence. Workshop untouched. Tools still hanging in perfect order. He picked up his soldering iron. The old radio still sat on his bench waiting. Like him. 6 months later, he got a letter. No return address, but the handwriting was hers. A final confession. No excuses, just regret. I know you'll never forgive me. I just needed you to know Ray's gone. Jason's rebuilding. We paid the price. You deserve better. Martin read it once, then fed it to the shredder. Some wreckage wasn't worth salvaging. 1 year later, on a warm September evening, Martin sat on the porch, sipping a beer. The yard was trimmed. Lights worked. The house purred quietly with power he understood and trusted. His phone buzzed. Tommy again. New gig. Wanted. Martin smiled. Rain check. A car slowed in front of the house. Some agent, probably, looking for sellers. But this wasn't a house on the market. This wasn't a story of loss. This was the rebuild. And Martin Daly, he didn't just fix wires. He rewired everything.